Hey YouTube, Chris with CB Model Works. Welcome back to the garage. So I finally got some time to get started on this 442 for the under 1000 subs group build. Group build's hosted by Rob at Time Machine Scale Models and Mike at Model Speed Shop. So thank you guys for putting on this group build for us. So what you're seeing right here, this is the third coat of primer. I'm using Mr. Surfacer 1000. Decanted and sprayed through the airbrush. I like how this stuff goes on, and it's a good filler primer as well. Fills up all the scratches from sanding and getting rid of mold lines. So now first coat of paint. This is Tamiya TS8 Italian Red. And it looks like I'm spraying this heavy, but I'm really not. It's just covering that good. I was impressed with this paint as I was painting it, but as you'll see at the end of the video, I'm not crazy about how it dried. I had a lot of issues with decals, and I'm wondering if it was the paint, maybe. But again, it seemed to be covering great. And needed to refill the paint cup there. Sprayed great too. Just didn't get quite the shine I was expecting from it. Granted, it is going to get a clear coat, so I'm not too worried about it. This is second coat, and I'm spraying a little bit heavier. So I kind of put myself in a little bit of a time crunch on this one. I don't know exactly what day this video is going to post, but when I'm painting this, it's April 2nd already. It's already lost a month. So I'm hoping to be able to get it done in time, but I know the next couple weeks are going to be pretty busy. So hopefully I'll get enough bench time in to get it done. So I think this is the third coat now. You can see the shine on the roof. It looks great, but it didn't dry that way. That's what I was a little disappointed in. It looked great as soon as I put it in the box to dry. But when I pulled it out, it was almost like a satin sheen. So now the decals. These kicked my behind a little bit. I don't know if it was the decals themselves or if it was the paint, maybe. I don't know, maybe somebody with a little more experience can let me know, but I had tons of water, micro set, all kinds of stuff on here, and these decals just would not slide around at all. And I might have said a couple bad words in my head when these decals folded over on me a couple times, but I was eventually able to get them in place. I've got this on 5 times speed right now. It took quite a while. I spent an hour getting these decals on. And it looks like we finally got it in place there. These should have been the easy ones, but they were actually pretty difficult. So moving on to the stripes on the back. You can see I've already got the left side done. That left side was quite difficult. I kind of did some of it to myself because, again, they wouldn't move around very easily. And I split the decal in half because I thought it would be easier that way. Well, it wasn't. It actually made it a lot harder. This one on the back, the instructions do say to overlap it, so that's what I did there. Alright, so here's the right side. Still a little bit of a pain. It's on 5 times speed again. Because it didn't want to move around. It made it very difficult. Eventually we got it in place. And it was a lot easier than the other side that I split in half. So if you're doing this kit, I would recommend doing it all in one big piece. I think it would be much easier for you to get everything lined up. Those wheel arches seem to be the only thing that did move easy, because every time I tried to move the bigger section of stripe, it wrinkled those up. I also tore the other side a little bit right at the back, so I'm hoping I can maybe touch that up with some paint or something and fix it. We'll see. I got a couple wrinkles in it as well. Just did not have much luck on that side, which I'll show you here at the end. So finally got everything straight, getting all those wrinkles out. Now we got the 442 and the W30 emblems. And there's a couple little lock cylinder decals. And all of this is repeated for the other side. So this is the left side. And there's a wrinkle right here, and then the decal overlaps right in the middle. So I'm not crazy about those. And on the roof here, you can see when I put the car in the box, the paint was nice and smooth, but it did not dry that way. I did get a lot of dust in it too. So I let the decals sit for about 3 days. I hit that roof with some 12,000 grit sanding sponges and got the dust out of it. Now I'm going over with a quick mist coat. So all the problems I had with the decals, I'm not taking any chances. I'm just misting this on to make sure it doesn't mess up any decals. So I let it sit for about 5 minutes, and now we're putting a regular coat of clear on there. This is Tester's Wet Look Clear, decanted. So this stuff does like to go down wet, so I'm spraying a little bit on the heavy side, but not too heavy. Just going around trying to get nice even coats all over the entire model. And now we're at third and final coat. And I am liking how this is turning out, but I decided to use a new paper towel, some cheap ones that we got at the dollar store. And when I tore them, dust went everywhere. So I ended up with a ton of dust in this paint job. I wiped it down, blew it off with the airbrush, and still managed to get just tons of dust. Other than the dust I got in it, I'm really happy with how this paint job came out. It leveled up pretty well. I had just enough paint decanted to finish this. So there we are, we got a nice finish on it. None of the decals lifted or anything. But as you'll see on the roof here in a second, I got my work cut out for me. There is a ton of dust in here. Overall, pretty happy with it though. So thank you everyone for following the build with me. Please like and subscribe, feel free to comment, and we'll see you in the next video.